Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dreams Unlimited Travel Podcast. My name is John Magi, and I'll be your host. And in this episode, we're going to tell you about some new information we learned about Universal Orlando Resort, as well as a very special offer that's being released today. Today, as we speak, I'm joined at the table by our panel of experts. Client Services Manager for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Sleepy McClose.
Hi. How are ya?
I
hit my head a lot.
Agent Consultant for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Tracy Heinrichs.
Hi, everyone.
And back in our production facility, we have our producer, Craig Williams. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being awake, Kevin.
Hi.
As I said, we're going to talk to you about some new stuff we learned at Universal Orlando. If you've been following us on social media, you know that Dreams Unlimited Travel recently had our annual agent meeting at Universal, or here in Orlando, but we focused on Universal, and we learned some stuff. I learned some stuff.
I learned stuff too.
I thought it was great, so I want to share what I've learned, and hopefully you guys will share what you've learned. But I want to start out with the fact that Universal today is going to have a very special, that doesn't make any sense, they're going to have a new winter savings offer. And this is for travel November 1st through December 25th, and then January 1st, 2019 through January 31st, 2019. Save up to $330 when you book a 4-night or longer vacation. These include multi-day tickets, admission to 3 parks for 4 days, and other great stuff. So the offer is today, September 14th, 2018. Book it through November 14th with a lot of dates in there that you can book, only a small blockout window. This is unusual for Universal to offer a discount like this, so kind of made me sit up and notice. So I think this is a great opportunity for folks to come in to see Universal if you haven't done so already. And it depends on where you're staying, but you'll get things like the Universal Ultimate Express Pass and all that stuff for the premier hotels. So all that stuff's included. So,
Did you say it was a minimum 4 nights?
4 nights.
Yes.
Correct.
She hits her head a lot too.
4-night accommodations, 3 park, 2-day park-to-park ticket. And this includes a 2 days of free tickets.
Right, so you end up with a 4-day ticket. Yep.
Right. Plus, in addition to the free tickets, you're getting a savings off the room as well. So it's a big savings for these dates. So please consider it. Contact us at Dreams Unlimited Travel. Contact your agent to get a price quote, and we will get that out to you. I assume that the hotels will fill up quickly, so you want to make sure you get your stuff in there. All right, so on to the other new stuff besides this discount that we learned. Had a nice opportunity not only to see things around Universal, but also we had folks come in and teach us stuff. So I'm going to start with perks for staying at the premier hotels. Mm-hmm. This is the Lowe's Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, and Portofino Bay. Everybody who stays here, we know this already, they get the free unlimited Universal Express Unlimited Pass, trying to say it right, which is an awesome benefit for getting front of line access to everything. Unlike a fast pass, it is unlimited, so you can ride as many times as you want and go back as often as you want. Something I didn't know, that folks staying at these hotels get priority seating at certain City Walk restaurants. Now, this isn't ahead of someone who already has a reservation, but you get ahead of the sort of walk-in line.
Right, yeah, when you get there and there's a line, you go to the front of the line, your next table to seat. And I think they do it at the parks as well, because we ate in one of the restaurants in the parks. Mm-hmm. So that was a neat feature. That was new. And it was there, but it was something that I wasn't thinking of.
Right.
And it was like a reminder.
It's they bill it as priority seating at select restaurants throughout Universal Studios Florida, including Islands of Adventure and City Walks, and the studios as well. So it is in the theme parks as well as City Walk. The other thing I thought was neat, I did not know this, I learned this for the first time, that the premier hotels have a black car service that will take you between the premier hotels for free.
Like Uber Black.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to go, let's say you're staying at Portofino and you want to go to Hard Rock and see a concert, they'll take you there and back for free.
Yep. We actually used it from Hard Rock back to Portofino. There was a rainstorm happening, and it was just a tip to the driver. They will take you off-site as well, but then there's a charge. But it was really neat. And they have the cars are parked there. They're not calling it from somewhere. They just have them sitting there waiting. And
That's an incredible service.
is.
One of the agents did go off-site, I think, to go to a store or something, and said it was like $15.
Right.
So kind of what an Uber would be, for sure. But I think it's great that they have it right there waiting for you. Anything else at Premier Hotels that I've missed?
You get in an hour early.
That's all hotels. Yep, that's a perk for staying at all Universal Orlando
I think
hotels.
those are the ones that are unique to the 3 Premier hotels. But like Kevin said, all of the resorts, you get early access.
1 hour earlier than day
Yep.
guests.
That's right. And that includes Volcano Bay. So when we did our tour of Volcano Bay, it was open early for resort guests. It was quiet. So people were just attraction after attraction after attraction. There was no lines, there was no waiting. So that would be a really good time to go to a water park, because I'm guessing, not that I frequent water parks, but I'm guessing the whole, waiting your turn on the, for the next slide. Although Volcano Bay does have that whole tapu thing,
virtual queue.
where the
The
virtual
wearable.
queue, and so they've really tried to do away with a whole lot of waiting in the sun for the ride to happen. But
Yep. Something I learned was that resort guests are guaranteed access to Volcano Bay. So, Volcano Bay reaches capacity, that resort guests are guaranteed access to it, so you don't have to worry about being turned away. And they said some days it reaches capacity at 9 a.m.,
right.
which kind of shocked me.
It kind of shocked me too. I thought that they were struggling a little bit in the beginning, but it seems to me like they're kind of finding their way, and they acknowledged fully, a lot of the struggles they had when they first opened and how they made them messed up and rushed a few things. But it seems like they're really getting it together over there. If I was, a water park fan, I could definitely see. They have the cabanas over there. They have a new section where it's not paid seats, just regular seating, and they've put, what did they call them?
Canopies?
Like, it's sort of like a canopy, but
Yeah.
it's built, like it's a wooden structure built to provide more shade, because that was one of the issues that they were hearing.
We thought about doing Cabana Bay, just going out and getting a cabana and hanging out, and just because we
Then
can't
we
do this.
realized we have a pool.
Then we realized they have a pool. But no, they've got some cool water features over there. I wouldn't do the slides. That wouldn't be my thing.
At Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the other stuff looks neat.
Yeah.
Some other stuff that's common for all on-site hotel guests. Guests can text the front desk for answers to questions.
Right. That was amazing. Like, they text you when you check in to make
Yeah.
sure that and then you can just reply to that text. And if you need more towels or you need something, you can just text if you have a question, and a real live person answers you back
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
And they said they're trained to answer in 2 minutes or less. And that's kind of like a service standard that they have. So like you
Yep.
said, I think for things like that, amenities in your room and stuff like that, that's a great option.
When we were there last year during the hurricane, Universal's where some of us ended up as we were stuck here, they were using that feature to keep us informed, to make sure, if you needed anything, so they really utilize it. And I would say I've never waited longer than a minute or so for a reply.
Something
awesome.
else that I think needs to bear repeating over and over again is these hotels are pet friendly.
Yeah, most of them are. The only ones that aren't are the ones that have Universal in their name. So all the Lowe's hotels, Lowe's has a pet-friendly policy, but like Cabana Bay, you can't bring your pets there. It's Universal Cabana Bay. Aventura, I don't think you can.
Correct.
And I don't think the 2 new ones, right, Craig? You're not going to be able to there either. Sapphire Falls, you can. We brought our baby there.
Yeah, it gets confusing because, again, it's sort of that Lowe's branding and Lowe's owning
Right.
the hotels versus Universal.
It's just a nice option
It
for people.
absolutely is.
The other thing that kind of blew me away was that they allow but also encourage resort hopping. Resort hopping for using the pools and using all of the amenities.
Right.
So unlike someone else, Disney, if you go to another pool and people freak out, you don't belong at this pool, they actually want you to go and use the other
Yeah.
pools on property.
And some of the pools have gates around them where you have to access the pool with your room key. And they explain to us that if you just send your guest to guest services, they'll provide them with a pool key for the day.
And that's a good too, because if you think some of these pools, like the Cabana Bay pool is kind of neat. And cabanas over there, the day that we were there, were $50 to rent a cabana by the pool. My guess is some other locations would be more than that.
Right.
So if you wanted to just, and especially if you have younger kids, you might be staying at Portofino, but I think younger kids would really like
And
that
the Hard
pool.
Rock pool has rock music
Yep.
pumped underwater.
We're going to talk a little bit more about Aventura. We had a chance to tour Aventura, but one of the things that struck me is it seemed like their pool was kind of small. However, you're right across the street from
Right.
Cabana Bay.
Right, and Sapphire Falls is right there too, almost in the same parking lot. It's an easy jaunt. So,
Speaking of Cabana Bay,
And we were.
again, something else I've learned. It's all about me. It's all about things I've learned this show. They have pool floats that you can purchase. They're round tubes like you would get at any pool, and they will inflate them for free. However, they will also deflate them for free. And they're encouraging people to deflate them and not take them back to your room and have this giant pool float sitting in your room.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Do they say Cabana Bay on them?
I do not think so. I think they're just... did
Generic.
they say Cabana Bay? You want a pool float?
I do.
All right.
bring it to Alani with you the next time to go around the lazy river.
Yeah, but I'm going to have somebody have somebody inflate it for me.
Deflate it.
John.
But it was interesting because they said, encourage your clients to use this feature so that they don't have those, because we always go past those rooms and people have the big inflatable tubes sitting in the
Family of
window.
four, they take up some real estate.
Right. So your rooms are not being used up. Anything else for resorts that I missed?
The resort-wide charging privileges, so you can charge back to your room for wherever you are on property. All resorts, sorry?
I think you're going to say the same thing I was going to say. Go ahead.
All resorts have park transportation.
Oh, that wasn't it. You can have things delivered to your room.
That was going to be the next one. Yep, merchandise delivery all over. And again, one of those little things that I don't think I realized from before. And I just want to talk a little bit, maybe you're planning on this, so you can stop me, just about the different resort categories and how many resorts they have.
I was not, so go
Okay,
ahead.
let's do that. So currently there's 6 on-site resort hotels. There's 2 more coming. The Endless Summer Resort, so that's Surfside Inn and Suites, is scheduled to open in August of 19. And then the Dockside Inn and Suites portion of Endless Summer Resort is going to open sometime in 2020. These are built down where the old Wet and Wild used to be. Remember, Universal bought that real estate. So these are going to have all the same amenities as the other on-site, not the premium, but the other things that we were talking about. They will have park transportation. You will be able to share facilities of the other resorts, just like you could if you were staying at one of the current properties.
But these are not walkable.
I feel personally
but like
that
Portofino Bay is not walkable to me, and some people would
Exactly.
disagree. So I think walkable is
Right.
different for
Exactly.
everybody. I
Just
know for
because
me,
you can doesn't mean you should.
right? Or I would.
I mean, the Hard Rock, completely, you
Right.
can walk to the parks from the Hard Rock for sure. Portofino, I did it. It was not fun. It was not pleasant for people
We
around
watched
me.
you from our window.
Did
We
you?
watched you go, and then we saw, okay, so he's not going on the boat, and we kept walking. He's like, oh, John's not going to be happy at
I
dinner.
was not happy. However, they have these guys with these bikes. Did you see them?
I did.
And on the way back, I rode one of the guys with the bikes.
No.
No.
The guy with the bike drove you back. You
sorry,
did not
man.
ride the guy.
I rode in the machine that he had, the bicycle.
That's a different show. That's
It
Dreams
is.
After Hours.
Right. Calm down, Jersey.
However, it's kind of a roller coaster
Yeah.
because that path is narrow
And
it's bumpy.
windy.
and he was going fast.
I heard you pass some agents.
I did. I passed a lot of it.
waving like the Queen of England.
I did. I was screaming at him, get out of my way. And the guy on the bike is like, oh my God, I can't believe you're being so rude to guests.
It's okay. They're mine.
I know them. All right, we have digressed off of the good
So the
things that
important part of the
evolved.
story
Right.
was that Universal is going to have 8 resorts. And when we were looking at some of the entry-level price points for these 2, the Endless Summer Resorts, they're going to have 2-bedroom suites there and they said their starting point in off-season is going to be something like $115 a night. Now, I don't know that that's going to really take... I mean, this isn't Disney people staying on iDrive, but I can see them going after that international drive traffic from those hotels.
Plus, you get the benefits.
Plus, you have the benefits of getting up to Universal. So it's interesting. Like, Universal is just taking off. And they're really working on that disconnect between resorts and parks. Because what happens there, and I think we've talked about it on the show before, Universal owns the parks, Lowe's is operating the resorts, and it can create a disconnect. It's not as seamless as Disney. You don't show up and everything's on your Magic Band. You know, when you check in for your hotel, you know, you're checking in at the Portofino, you then have to get your tickets separately and your dining. There's different ways to get those things. So it's not all one system, but they did tell us that they're aware of that. And they are really looking at ways to bring that together.
I actually thought the introductory price was going to be less than that.
They said $79 a night, but that was not for a suite.
Yeah, the 2-bedroom suite is going to be $115. Yeah.
It's like, because I was looking at, I know I took a screenshot of it, but I didn't have it. And I thought
the regular rooms they're saying are going to start around $79, and the 2-bedroom suites around $113 or $115 a night. Yeah. So,
and they said while they were going to be part of Universal, they would also be very what's the word I'm looking for? Self-reliant resorts.
Right.
That there would be restaurants and amenities there that you would not have to go to another restaurant unless you wanted to.
A pool and things for the guests staying there. For
so
sure.
they divide their resorts. So we talked about the 3 premium. I believe at this point, Craig, Sapphire is the only one in the preferred category. They recently changed Royal Pacific, so it's, even though it had premium benefits, they were trying to call it a preferred for a while, so they cleared that mess up. So now they're calling the 3 premiums, Sapphire is preferred, and then Cabana and Aventura or prime value, and then these 2 new ones will just be value.
I have it here in the pricing of that promotion, and it just gets complicated. But
it does.
So what they've basically done is they've sort of pushed in a level in between and saying that they have this sort of mid-level.
And they've created this new value. So then they had to call Cabana and Aventura something else. They went to prime value.
Right.
It's kind of convoluted at this point, clear as mud.
The good news is that there are options for everybody.
Right.
There's price options for everybody. There's location options for everybody. So, they're really working to, make this for something for everybody to be able to come and stay with them. Where at one point it was kind of like, well, there's just the expensive hotels, and now there's going to be options for everybody. Craig, were you going to say something?
No.
You look like you're going to say something. Yeah. Anything else on the hotels?
Not specifically to the hotels, just that, John had mentioned at the top of the show, the new promotion that's coming. Universal's unique in that they kind of run continuous promotions. So they have one that they call Splash Stay and Play if you get the 3-park ticket with your package to include Volcano Bay. It's a minimum 4 nights, but there's an additional discount off of the package for taking the Volcano Bay ticket. There's also, they have a discount that's called Stay More, Save More. So the more nights you stay, you get a higher percentage off per night. Not always available, because again, it would be based on availability, but different promotions that run throughout the year, aside from the special time-limited one that you had mentioned.
The only thing I have for new information that I learned is about the Universal dining plan. Universal has a dining plan. Don't even think about it in the terms of a Disney dining plan.
Right.
What was really shocking to me was the flexibility of it and how you can mix and match. So not only can people in your party have a different plan, quick service versus their full service, but every day can be different. And some days you cannot have it. Where Disney makes you take the same plan for everybody in your party for every day of your stay.
Right.
So now if you decide that one day is going to be a resort day, well, I don't need dining in the park for that. You can have no dining that day and save money, and then have the dining for being in the park. And the other thing is the entitlements roll over during your stay. So if you don't use a snack or whatever you're going to take, you don't have to do it that day. You can use it somewhere else.
Right. So they expire 7 days after the first day you use the card. And Disney's like that too. You get it as a total, and then you can use them whatever day within your trip. But with the Universal's dining plan, important to know at this point, the restaurant or the resorts are not included.
Correct.
So you really want to know ahead of time. And this is, I think, one of the reasons they're so flexible with it. So I'll have some clients, for example, with older children who will only buy the quick service dining plan for them, so that they're going to the parks for the day, and they've got their dining card and they know they're going to eat. So that's one way to use it, or only buy it for your park days, as you said.
Right.
And it is good for the City Walk restaurants.
There was something I forget. I apologize. You guys are going to be able to help me fill in the details. That this is not something you could buy. What was the deal about you couldn't buy it on site? You had to buy it in advance.
That's the full service dining plan that is available when you have a package, like a resort package. The quick service, anybody can buy it. Even if you're just coming in for the day, you can buy it on site.
Okay.
If you're booking a package,
it.
you can buy it in advance. The full service one is only available with these packages, and that's the one that includes the table service, using a Disney term, table service.
Right.
And it's good at most City Walk locations and some locations in the parks as well.
Yeah, I was completely blown away with the fact that it was so flexible.
It's very
I
flexible.
thought it was really great. That's all I have for that. Do you have anything else sort of not related to Aventura? Because I was going to talk about
I do. Just a couple things I want to mention. Universal recommends 4 or 5 nights for their packages. We talk about Disney a lot, and people are starting to think about Universal. I've had clients now do only a Universal trip. I want to say the biggest difference, I find a Universal trip more relaxing, especially if you're staying at a premium resort and you have the unlimited express pass. Most people can find, you go to the park in the morning, maybe by 12, 1, 2 o'clock, you've done what you want to do for that day. The rest of the day is a pool day, or you're going to go to another resort and have a pool day. So I find it's a different pace than what World is. You're not booking dining at 180 days out. You're not doing fast passes at 60 days before that. So it's definitely a different pace vacation.
Again, it's a different mindset.
It is
when
completely.
you have the Disney vacationer and you give them a Universal vacation, you have to retrain them almost.
You do, and they feel like they're not doing enough, or you're not doing it, and they're like, shouldn't something be happening at this point? Like, are you really? I don't do anything until I get there. So, people ask about adding Universal on. I know we sell the Take 2 ticket, where they can come over for a day, and it includes transfers. I would say if you're looking at adding it on, add it on to the end. Even if you only want to try it and it's, a couple nights the first time, add it to the end of the trip, because I think you'll find it a little bit more relaxing than the Disney part, and you'll be a little more rested when you're heading home.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good tip.
Well, there's also something to be said for, Disney has trained its guests that you have to make your dining reservation 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
That level, and you have to schedule a fast pass, so you want to go to the Haunted Mansion at 10:15. That is, I think, just not having to do those things makes it a more relaxing trip.
A different type of vacation. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was we had a chance to tour the newest hotel, Aventura. First time I had seen it. I know Craig had done stuff with a press event there, so hoping we can give our overall impressions. In my opinion, it was very modern. It had almost a South Beach, Miami South Beach feel to it. If that's your thing, it's very nice. I don't particularly care for that design, but it was very, very nice. It was a well done. The theming was well done, and everything looked very nice and very clean and fresh and new and bright. It's a very bright hotel. It's very high tech. They tout their tech very much. The iPads in the room, that they are wired for future tech if things were to become available. So that was a big thing. And what's interesting is that it's kind of small by resort standards.
I found the room very small.
Yes.
We were in a regular room, and I found the one bed was literally along the window. I
said that to Kevin too.
Yeah.
I said it was deceiving because their rooms have floor-to-ceiling windows, and some of them have fantastic views of Volcano Bay. So when you walk in, it looks like it's very expansive, but you find that bed is right up against the window.
Yeah. I think I would have a hard time staying in that room as a family of 4.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that, and this week we're in a Little Mermaid room over at Art of Animation. So we were comparing it to that room that we had seen there, and it was smaller. It felt smaller than that. I don't have square footage.
We're saying, didn't they say that? I didn't go. I wasn't there that day. Weren't the rooms not square? Aren't there?
No, that's the new Cabana Bay
right,
tower.
The new Cabana Bay tower.
Yeah. These are square rooms. There's 600 hotel rooms total, so not a huge resort in and of itself. And their leading rate is being promoted as $116 per night plus tax for a standard room.
Yeah.
So it makes it affordable. It's an
does.
affordable place to stay. It's right in the middle of everything.
Especially when you can use the facilities of the other resorts. So it almost doesn't matter that that pool is smaller than everywhere else. If you can walk up to Sapphire Falls,
Yep.
that has a beautiful pool. But in my opinion, that room, like as two adults, we'd be okay. Chris really liked that resort. He really likes that modern tech, clean line style. I wasn't as impressed just because of space. I found it would be tight. I found closet space and the room itself. But if it was just the two of us, we'd be okay. I look at a room, if it was the two of us and two children in here, where would I put our
They
stuff?
kind of were positioning it that way with the marketing, weren't
It
they?
seemed to me that way. I don't think it's necessarily the family market they're going after, more the millennial, the
Young couples
young
without
couples.
kids.
Yeah, young. I think that's more their market with this one.
But interesting, we were in the elevator during our tour, and a mother and a son got on, and the mother was telling us that she was very excited. She booked this hotel specifically for her son because it was so techy.
Right.
And he's a techie, and he thought he would enjoy it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, when Ben was younger, I could see Ben enjoying that. You know, the fact that he's adjusting the lights and stuff with an iPad, he would have been all over that. So for sure, I can see but it's not your typical. I think most families are still at that price point going to want to be at Cabana Bay.
I would say for sure, family go to Cabana Bay. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything else we learned at Universal we want to share before we end it?
I think just give it a chance if you haven't yet. I think you'll be surprised. Now, it is very attraction and ride focused. So if, like me, you don't get on a lot of attractions, I find that if I'm not on attractions, I struggle with what else to do in the park. But I know those in our group who were fans of attractions and getting on a lot of rides, they were just go, 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 one thing after another.
One of the things that Universal said, and I had never put it in this context before, was that a lot of their attractions are much more of today.
Right.
As opposed to older properties that Disney uses.
Mm-hmm.
The Minions,
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, Harry Potter. So that was interesting. So if you have young kids who would be more interested in that,
Right.
that it was much more, they described them as the movie, you used this term earlier, the movie stars of today.
Yeah.
So, again, I want to remind everybody, winter savings offer released today. Very, very exciting. Book between now and November 14th and get up to $330 off your stay, 4-night accommodations plus tickets. I would say, I'm going to go out here on a limb and say, for those who might be putting off a Disney vacation because they're waiting for certain things to be finished, this might be an opportunity to see Universal for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're going to be coming at a time of year where it's a little cooler, a little less crowds, and a good savings.
Yep. And the other thing is, too, if you want to stay over at Universal, but you can't come to the area without your Disney fix. I know a lot of our agents were like that last week. They were at Universal for the week and learning lots and loving it, but still needed their Disney fix. You know, we took an Uber from Epcot, and it was $15.
Right.
They were literally
So-
20 minutes apart.
Yeah. So you could come and use Universal as your home base and maybe still, and even if you don't have a ticket, but you need your Disney fix. I know some agents went over to Disney Springs for the evening. So it's not impossible to do.
Right.
So I think, and our Dreams agents, we did our training there last week. Most of our agents have been now. And so your Dreams agent can certainly help you if you're considering Universal. And I say, give it a shot. They're catching up. They're no longer the illegitimate stepchild down the road.
They're no longer trying to catch up to Disney. They have caught up.
Right.
Excellent. All right. Thank you guys very much. I hope everybody considers a vacation to Universal Orlando. That'll do it for our show. Thank you, everybody at home, for listening and watching. We hope you have a great week, and we hope you have a great vacation.